What's up, graphic designers? We're going to take a look at some of your submissions, as well as do a deep dive on Jet submissions so far, as well as I do think this is Victor's. We're going to talk about how we can enhance the quality, and hopefully we're going to be wrapping up our second teacher poster today. We'll kick things off with John's. John, I love how you increased the size of the title. I do have a few suggestions. I think in the lower left-hand corner you can boost the opacity of that blue background just a little bit, and then you're going to want to desaturate the "Immigrants Make America Great" sign, which I love, but we're going to want to desaturate it anytime before we apply blending modes. Well done, Victor. We're going to talk more about yours in a second. Nice job. Victor, on this one with Drozd, we can't read this text at all. So what you're going to need to do is think about how you can add a little bit of contrast and then apply some visuals with blending modes. So Mabu, you got to put your name in the file name. This is off to a great start. You're going to make sure that just like Angel, he selected two colors. So Mabu, the title is going to be white and blue, and then blue and white, or some other color scheme, but we're going to want to make sure that we apply color inversion, as we have here with Serena. Serena, I like this. The background, I get thematically why it makes sense, but I'm curious if there's another background from this book that might be a little bit more appealing as we are decorating our hallways. Danny's doing a nice job on this one featuring Miss Treister. I'm not sure if you spelled her name wrong. You guys, we're going to make sure that we simply copy and paste. I'm not mad about the font choice itself. However, I'm wondering what visuals we can put in the background. I know Miss Tracer is talking about the relationship she has with her kids, so maybe some visuals or symbols of parents with child, some hearts, some empathy, something like that. Gabe, this is a great start. I think that maybe this text can be a little bit bigger, and I know that we sort of talked yesterday about how to fill out the space. Maybe shift your logo onto the water, maybe right here, and have her blurb featured a little bit more prominently. Zoe, this is great, but as we said with Mabu earlier, we're going to want to find two colors. So in this case, maybe it's going to be white and green, and then green and white. I can't wait to see what other elements of blending modes you have on here, as we do with Freddy's. Freddy, I told you, I think 87 times in Tuesday's class, also Monday's class, Patrick Stewart should be on the same line. I like how, you guys, take note. This is a book on Patrick Stewart. He's got the Starship Enterprise. We've got another image of him in the background. And I'm not mad about this. Great start. You're almost there. Julia, you're going to want to make sure that you reference that rubric, right? So that rubric contains everything that you need to earn an A++, and it's not previewing the file. Do we have it? This is okay. So Julia, you're gonna want to reference this as you're working, as is everybody. Make sure you adhere to that. That way you're earning yourself an A++. Let's take another look at the next submission. Thank you so much, Ian. I think we can do a lot more with this visual in the background. And right now you have gray on gray for text, right? Sort of like light gray and dark gray. We always want a lot of contrast. I'm curious how else you can celebrate Mr. Duffy. Nice job, Ryan. So we're going to need to include your logo. You're going to include my blurb down here, some examples of blending modes in the upper right-hand corner. Likewise, Talia, you're going to find some diagrams from this book. Talia, talk with Miss Rena. She's an amazing teacher. Ask her about the book and what she thinks you should include in this background. And as we have here, all right, so Ji Dong did a little bit of research. He read Aaron's blurb. This is called The Extended Mind. He found an image of the brain, desaturated, put it in the sky. It looks like we've got Leonardo's diagram over here. You're going to continue experimenting. Shout out to Sabrina, who's applying some cool blending modes. I feel like this font for this text could be a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more legible. You're going to think about how we can communicate that a little bit more simply. Sophia, we've talked about this. Matea, you're done. Okay, Zach. Thank you for putting your logo. Zach, it's my fault. I probably never told you guys to put your name in the file name. We're going to find two colors. We're going to identify two colors, and we're going to apply that. And maybe it looks like actually, in fact, you did, but it's a little tricky to read. I would encourage you, Zach, to go to Defiant.com. You're going to have a lot more ways to sort of celebrate this book that Mr. Maslow is reading with blending modes. Nice job, Darren and Angel. And there's some earlier images. All right, so Winnie, put your name in the file name. And Winnie, you got to send me the newest version of your poster. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for paying attention. So I told Victor and all of you guys to include elements related to the book and blending modes. I said that to you, right? And so it looks like Victor selected the Marines because he read Mr. Himes' blurb, and that totally makes sense. However, one of the things I said repeatedly is you're going to want to make sure you desaturate it and put it in a place that makes sense. And this is actually Victor's original image, but if you're going to paste something over this, these rocks, these visuals right here are a little jarring. So I use the content aware, right, to get rid of them, to create a little bit more solid space in the background. And then I found this image of the Marines. I desaturated it and then applied levels. And then I think I used the multiply blending mode. And I think this is maybe a stronger image than what was there previously. Alternatively, here's the other image of the Marines working hard. Looks like they are embracing the suck. And then we desaturated it and applied blending modes. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a little bit more cohesive. So if this is what you are ultimately going to do, Victor, you're going to make sure you move your logo. Ladies and gentlemen, does this make sense? Let's take a look at one more example. So Jet, you've got a lot of work to do today. You got to work really, really efficiently. Shoe Dogs should be much bigger. Those two words. A memoir by the creator of Nike is going to be significantly smaller. I do like your color scheme choice. Here's what you can do. You can simply, if this is about shoes, right, bud? You can simply apply the multiply blending mode, and then you can have something that looks a little bit like that. That looks cool, right? What else can we do? We can hop online. We can get maybe another template. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy image. I'm going to return to Photoshop, Command V. And then again, we can do multiply. And then we can have something that looks a little bit like this in the sky. Alternatively, you guys, if we press Command I, and you know what I'll do? I'll go back, change the blending mode back to normal. You guys, if we press Command I, that inverts the colors, right? So if we're on the Mattenberg layer, I know the sky is about to turn blue. And, I'm sorry, orange, and it sure does because its color's inverted. We're going to return to this sneaker, Command I inverts. And so now we're going to have it, so the background is black, the outline is white. And when we do screen, oh, you guys, that looks kind of cool if we had it up in the sky somewhere right here. Like, clearly, we want to go a little bit like that. But that's, that's kind of fun. You can experiment with that sky. In about 10 minutes, you guys are going to be starting your second poster. I'm going to have the spreadsheet up on the screen. You're going to let me know who you'd want to design for. You're going to simply find the PNG of the teacher that you're going to be working with. Shout out to your classmates. All such great kids. And here's where you're going to find your work. Nick, very handsome, but we're going to make sure that your portrait is not in the teacher with book cover assignment. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.